welcome engineers, project managers, and operators. We've decided to put together this session on dam safety based on some feedback we're getting from clients that it's becoming a more important topic. We'll get right into that. First of all, just some quick introductions. For those of you who don't know us, my name's David Belmont. I'm Vice President here at Journey Engineering. I'm very passionate about building strong businesses and building strong teams and growing people. Scott, maybe you can introduce yourself quickly.
I'm Scott Herbst. I'm a professional engineer. I'm a civil engineer by trade. I'm the founder of Journey Engineering. I'm passionate about earthworks, yellow iron, construction, anything civil engineering related. And I'm also passionate about people, which brings us to Journey.
Yeah, I think that's a great intro to Journey. That if you know, between Scott and myself, the other Journey partners and the broader Journey team, I think what brings us all together is a belief that we can build an engineering company that's built on a strong foundation of people, where we don't treat people like disposable assets. And the vision that's up on our wall is we want to partner with our clients to build assets that work. And those are the two things that we really strive for every day. We want to partner with our clients. That means we want to be on your team. No politics. We just want to help. And then the second part is building assets that work. We understand that as an engineering firm, most of our work will start in theory, but it must end in practice. And all of our engineers quite regularly will strap on work boots and walk around site with operations and make something work. And that's something we're very proud of, having built that reputation, and we'll focus on in the future. But now, without further ado, let's get into dam safety. So what we did is we kind of aggregated some of what we were hearing from clients into a few questions that we wanted to walk through today. What's changed? What are the regulatory bodies and documents we should be aware of? We'll get into a little bit more detail on the definitions of a dam, what the impacts are, and then I think most importantly for anyone joining, how can we manage this practically in this new world? So, Scott, let's start at the beginning. What changed?
Thank you, David. In December of 2018, the Alberta government made significant changes to the water ministerial regulation and released a new Alberta Dam and Safety Directive, the directive we're here to talk about today. And that new directive introduced substantial changes to existing water storage structures within Alberta.
So the directive was released in December 2018. Why is it now a priority?
That's right. December 2018, the AER released the directive, and it was still widely unknown. The government is spreading the word and have provided presentations to clients and individuals that have been impacted with the new directive. But only more recently, 2019 and 2020, have some of the operators started receiving letters from the AER indicating that they're out of compliance with the directive, and they've given some time frames to get back into compliance.
Okay, so now if say I'm an operator with a letter in hand, what are the regulatory bodies and documents that I should be aware of with regards to this directive?
Regulation of construction, operation, maintenance, and decommissioning of dams within Canada fall under the provincial or territorial responsibility. And the three key documents within Alberta are the Water Act, which is Alberta Environment and Parks, the Alberta Regulation 205/1998, the Water Ministerial Regulation, which holds the directive that we're here to talk about, Alberta Dam and Canal Safety Directive, and any ministerial orders that come through that directive.
And at a high level, what are the requirements contained in all those various documents?
And requirements for a classified dam vary depending on the dam classification, but some of the requirements might include initial notification to the AEP, which includes the engineer record and any feasibility studies completed. It would also require detailed design information, information on how the structure will be constructed, and then post-construction you'd have to supply the construction records and operational requirements.
Let's get a little more granular. As a dam owner now, what are the specific what's the specific definition now in the directive of a dam?
The dam is now defined as a barrier constructed for retention, storing, or diverting water, including water containing other substances, fluid waste, or flowable tailings. It includes all other works associated with that barrier. Basically, everything that holds water is a dam, and a dam requires a consequent classification completed by a qualified engineer.
So as an operator, the question I should be asking myself isn't, do I have a dam? You have a dam. It's, what is the consequence classification?
That's right.
And so let's dig into the consequence classification a little bit if you can.
The key things to look for on a consequence classification are if the dam has more than 30,000 cubic meters of live storage. And live storage is defined by storage above existing grade, or berms higher than 2.5 meters. And also, if the dam were to fail, what would pose the significant risk of loss of life or environmental damage downstream.
Okay, so consequence of failure, live storage, and berm height are some key pieces to look at.
That's right, and we have a graphic here to show how that lays out. So we've shown what a higher classification dam might be, would be storage over 30,000 cubic meters or berm height over 2.5 meters. Or if you can get a low consequence classification dam or a non-classified dam, you try to get your storage below grade and keep your berms below 2.5 meters.
Which will then reduce some of your the requirements, but let's get into that. So now I'm an operator with an existing asset. What are the impacts I'm likely to see out of this?
The impacts will be determined case by case and greatly depend on the consequence classification. But some of the impacts might include the owner must have an operation manager and safety manager, both whom have to have 10 to 15 years of dam experience respectively. It may also require annual engineering inspections or annual performance reviews completed by the designer of record. And one of the more robust requirements would be all of these barriers would require an engineer of record that has 15 years of dam or canal experience.
Okay, but once again, largely dependent on consequence classification, so it's likely not very helpful to get too deeply into it right now.
That's right.
Okay, the next kind of item we want to talk about is the practical management of these. So let's look at two scenarios. The first one, I'm an operator that has an existing asset that previously wasn't classified as a dam and now is. So what steps should I take now to manage this?
If you have an existing dam structure, the first step is to completing the consequence classification and understanding what parts of the directive will have impacts. We can do the initial review from a desktop. It may include reviewing existing design and construction information, photographs, or topographical information. It may require us to have boots in the ground and complete a review of the structure, and then from there we can complete the consequence classification and prescribe further requirements. To follow up on if it's a new structure, I think the key there is to get involved early on. We could help out from a siting perspective to understand what the storage requirements are, what constraints we have on site, and how we could get a design that would meet not only the storage requirements, but not trigger some of the thresholds that would be as a result of a higher consequent classification.
So we can be proactive in this case and
Yeah,
and alleviate some of the future work out of this.
Yeah, we've helped a lot of clients on the siting side specifically to avoid some of those thresholds that would trigger higher classifications.
Great. So what next?
Give us a call. We're here to help. As you indicated, we strive to partner with the clients, understand what your problem is and how we can proactively help, whether that's with an existing facility or you're looking to build a new asset.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining. And as Scott mentioned, please give us a call. Our number, website is there. It's easy to get a hold of us, and we always love to speak to existing and new clients and want to guide you through this process. Thank you.